Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right. We're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
It was a week until Levi and Ivy would compete in their annual summertime neighborhood Olympics. They couldn't have been more excited and couldn't think of anything else as the special event got closer and closer. It may have had something to do with all the great games, fun festivities, and tasty food that made the Neighborhood Olympics an event to look forward to. But it also had something to do with Levi and Ivy's excitement over repeating as Neighborhood Olympic champions in the obstacle course race. It was a team event that paired together two kids in the neighborhood to run, jump, skip, roll, dive, and so much more to make it from one end of the course to the other in the fastest time. Ivy, I think you should start the obstacle course again this year, said Levi as he stretched in the front yard. You're better at me at the tire swing dive, and you make it across the hula hoop backyard hop in no time. Thank you, Levi, said Ivy as she adjusted the sweatband on her forehead. I think we're definitely the perfect team. I have a great obstacle course skills, and so do you. I mean, there's no kid in the neighborhood better than you at the monkey bar maze, the bike wheelie ride, or the spin and run. Levi and Ivy high-fived each other and continued to get ready for another workout to get themselves in shape for the big day. But what they didn't know was practicing for the neighborhood obstacle course was not the only thing they had to do to get in shape. In fact, they had been concentrating so much on the race itself that they were completely forgetting to take care of themselves. Hey, Ivy, can you hand me a juice box, please? I'm super thirsty and we have this long workout ahead of us, said Levi as he took the juice box from his sister. Good point, Levi, replied Ivy. I totally forgot to eat breakfast again, so I definitely need a little energy before we get started. This candy bar should do the trick. So as Ivy ate her candy bar and Levi drank his sugary juice box, something was happening that neither of them knew about, but would soon have to deal with. This kind of eating went on for weeks because Levi and Ivy didn't want to concentrate on anything else but improving their time on the jump rope, the football toss, and the wacky walk. These were all parts of the neighborhood Olympical obstacle course race that they felt they needed to work on from last year. They made their parents record the whole race on their phones the year before so they could download it to their computer and watch each part over and over, hoping to find out what they could do better. After we practiced this morning, can we watch the obstacle course race video again? Asked Levi. I just want to focus on the rope climb now and see what we can do to go faster in that part of the race. Well, I was thinking we'd work on a few other things during the day because we'd have plenty of time tonight after dinner to watch the videos, answered Ivy. Why don't we do both? Said Levi. Okay, I'm sure we can work in a little screen time this morning. And if we happen to watch an episode or two of our favorite show, then that would be fine too, said Ivy with a smirk. You don't think we've had too much screen time, do you, Ivy? Asked Levi as he finished his juice box. Nope. I mean, most of it is research for the Neighborhood Olympics, so that doesn't even count, said Ivy as she finished her candy bar. Let's get to practicing. I'll time you first on the hike and hopscotch part of the race. Ready, set, go! Levi jumped into action, and the rest of the morning, he and Ivy prepared for the Neighborhood Olympics obstacle course race, fueled by only juice boxes and candy bars, which they had snuck out of the house without their parents knowing. After practicing all morning in the hot summer sun, they unknowingly were getting dehydrated and started to get a headache. I think we should go in and take a rest, suggested Ivy. Good idea, said Levi. My head hurts, just like it did yesterday. I think I need another juice box and maybe some pizza. So he and Ivy headed to their house to have lunch. But instead of sitting comfortably at their table, resting and talking to each other, they grabbed their food, sat in front of their computer, and stared at a screen. They were watching an episode of one of their favorite shows as they ate their lunch and continued to speak junk food. Hi, Levi and Ivy, said their mom as she walked into the computer room. I feel like I haven't seen you all morning. How's the obstacle course race practice going? She stood there in the doorway for a bit, getting no response from her kids. She called their names again, but they were so lost in their screen time that they didn't even respond. Then she decided the only thing that could snap them out of it was to say something about the obstacle course race. So I heard that 2 kids just moved into the neighborhood and signed up for the obstacle course race. And it just so happens that they're international obstacle course race champions. Never lost a race in their lives. That should make this year's event pretty exciting, said Levi and Ivy's mom, waiting to see if her plan would work. And it did. What? Exclaimed Levi and Ivy, turning away from the computer screen. Are you serious, Mom? Asked Ivy. International obstacle course race champions? Is that even a thing? Asked Levi. It's not a thing, and there are no new kids moving into the neighborhood. But it was clearly the only way I could get you to pay attention to me. I've been standing here for quite a while, said Levi and Ivy's mom. Sorry, said Ivy, but I have a headache. Then watching a scream isn't what you should be doing right now, said Ivy's mom before spying a candy wrapper on the floor next to an empty juice box. And eating all this junk food isn't helping you either. With all the practicing you've been doing, you need to put good food into your bodies, like water, veggies, and fruit. No way, Mom. The sugar from candy bars and juice boxes gives us big energy, said Levi with a yawn. And when that energy runs out, which it does very quickly, you're left feeling tired and cranky, answered his mom. No, that doesn't happen, shouted Levi before he realized that he wasn't speaking very nicely to his mom. Sorry, I shouldn't have yelled. I think you two need a little break from all this neighborhood Olympics practice, suggested Levi and Ivy's mom. No way, shouted both Levi and Ivy. What we mean is we need to practice every day so we can win again this year, said Ivy. And we need to work hard to improve, said Levi, yawning again. Even if that means long practice sessions outside. Now that part I like, said Levi's mom. Getting outside and exercising is great for you. But it should be fun, and it shouldn't feel like work. The Neighborhood Olympics is meant to be a good time. Win or lose, you should just go out and give it your best. But winning is the best, and that's what we want to do, said Ivy with a yawn. But right now, I think both of you need to drink a big glass of water, go outside, and relax for a bit, said their mom before heading into the kitchen. Levi and Ivy reluctantly turned off the computer and followed their mom into the kitchen. They each grabbed a big glass of water from their mom and walked outside to their treehouse. We can hang out here for a bit and talk about our strategy for the race, said Ivy as she and Levi sat down in the beanbag chairs that they kept in the treehouse. And as for this water, I think it would taste a little better with some fruit punch in it, giggled Levi as he pulled the juice box out of his pocket. And this little chocolate bar will definitely be a nice little snack after lunch, added Ivy as she took a candy bar out of a box that she kept in the treehouse. Levi and Ivy spent the rest of the afternoon eating more sweets and drinking more sugary juice as they planned how they would win the obstacle course race again. They talked about who would be the best on the balance beam bonanza, the hippity-hoppity hurdles, the rock and roll ring toss, and the curvy cone circus. But then, Ivy, I'm not feeling so good, said Levi suddenly as they were finishing up their strategy for the stepping stone stop portion of the race. I know how you feel, answered Ivy, rubbing her tummy. Maybe that second candy bar was one too many. I think we may need to take a little nap, and I bet we'll feel better when we wake up. Levi agreed, and in no time they were both asleep. They woke up a couple of hours later, feeling better and ready to get back to practicing. However, neither of them had any of the water that their mom gave them earlier, so they were still dehydrated, but didn't know it. Once in their backyard, Ivy tried out the hula hoop hop, but only got to the third hula hoop before she got dizzy. Are you okay, Ivy? Asked Levi. Just a little dizzy and a lot thirsty, replied Ivy. I don't have any juice boxes left. Sorry. But I do have that big glass of water that Mom gave us, Levi said. I guess that will have to do, said Ivy as she took the glass, gulped down the whole thing. Wow, that was great. I think I'll run inside and grab some more. When Ivy came back, she had another big glass of water and drank the whole thing. Delicious, she said. And I don't feel thirsty, like after I drink a juice box. Levi didn't think much of it and turned his attention to practicing the wacky walk. And that did not go well. Ivy rushed over to her brother when he tumbled to the ground after just 2 wacky twisty steps. Here, drink this water and sit for a little bit, said Ivy. I can't believe I didn't notice this earlier. I learned all about this in school. If you don't drink enough water, you get dehydrated, and that can make you dizzy, especially when it's hot out like today. Levi listened to his sister and felt a lot better after drinking the big glass of water. Okay, I guess Mom was right, said Levi as Ivy continued practicing for the rest of the afternoon. But unfortunately, that was the only habit that he changed that day. They ditched the juice boxes, but still kept sneaking sugary treats for quick energy, watching too many screens, and not going to bed on time. That night, like many nights before, Levi and Ivy stayed up late mapping out the obstacle course race on big pads of paper in their bedrooms after their parents fell asleep. They stayed up until midnight drawing out the course and figuring out ways to maximize their talents to win, win, win. They were so excited and full of energy while they were in the moment, but in the morning, it was also impossible to get them out of bed. And one morning, that became a big problem. Levi, Ivy, where are you two? Called their mom as she walked upstairs to get to their rooms. You said you were up 20 minutes ago when I called you the first time. If you don't get up, you're going to be late for signing up for the neighborhood Olympics. Levi and Ivy couldn't believe what they were hearing and jumped out of bed as soon as their mom mentioned the neighborhood Olympics. Oh no! If we don't sign up, then we can't complete in the obstacle course race, called out Levi as he ran to get dressed. Ivy did the same, and they met downstairs in the living room, ready to run out the door. Hold on, you still need to get breakfast before you go. It's a very important meal, and it helps fuel your body for the first part of the day, said their mom as she walked out of the kitchen. We'll eat when we get back, Mom, called out Levi as he ran out the door with Ivy close behind. See you in a bit, Mom, yelled back Ivy as she slammed the door shut. But did they have enough time to make it to their signups? Or were their bad habits put up a stop at the obstacle course race before it even began? Hey friends, that's the end of part 1. Come back soon for part 2. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.